a pink, a circle, circle, circle. Okay, it looks like we're live. Let me check on Facebook here.
What was our name again?
Let me go back here. It's not showing up on Facebook yet.
Oh, Mad Show.
Yeah, the
Remember?
Mad Show. But
Yeah.
I named this the Gripe stream.
That's okay. So, welcome to the Mad Show. This is a Gripe episode. This is
Yep.
a Gripe segment.
Okay, let me see. Abraham Helsing. Okay, I need to put this to where I am.
You can say
Fucker.
Mad Talk. It's a Mad Talk show.
Oh, here we go. We're up. We're up on Facebook. It says bitching about bad days.
Okay. So, welcome to the Mad Talk show. How you doing today, Jet?
I've been. I think that
Oh,
about
that's
says.
nasty.
Yeah, it is. It's been a nasty month and a half. Sick, getting hassled by the apartment people. How you been doing?
Well, I went to go do my test. Well, I don't know where to begin, to be honest with you. Okay. So I went to go do my taxes the other day, and I made an appointment. Now, my tax lady, she's really good. She gets me back a lot of money all the time. And so I made an appointment. I confirmed it. They called me to confirm it, and I said, yes, I'll be there Monday. So me and my daughter took our scooters down there. We scooted down there. And we have these locks. Now, these locks and chains, they're not regular, a key and a padlock. It comes with one of those buttons that you do with your car to unlock your car and lock your car. Whoop, 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 like that.
Yeah.
And the lock will lock. And it's not a chain, it's like a steel rope.
Okay, I
And
know that.
yeah, so we locked it up with that. She had one, I had one. Then we went in for our appointment, sat down, and then the lady turns to us and says, "Oh, by the way, so and so has retired." And I said, "Well, no one told me this. Otherwise, I would have made an appointment with somebody else. I had no idea who I was going to go with." So then this lady with a heavy Indian accent was waiting on me and my daughter. She was very nice and everything else, but she did not know what she was doing. So then Sarah said, I'm going to wait on mine. I said, you know what? Before she filed it, I said, I'm going to wait and I'll get back to you. So I wasn't going to get back as much as I used to. So then I made an appointment that day with a girl that used to help out the one that used to get me back all the money that I used to go to her for over 20 years. I was so sad to hear that she retired. And this lady said, yeah, it's because now your daughter's is 24. You can't collect that much money. I guess I could claim her, but I can't claim her anymore because she's working and she's 24. So now all I'm going to get back is 700. But anyways, let's get back to my first initial day. So we walk out. I try to unlock my lock. The thing goes off. It's like wham, wham, and it's loud because we have crackheads in the neighborhood. So I want to make sure it was loud in case they try to tamper with it.
Yeah.
Well, it was loud. We got everybody's attention. It wouldn't unlock. And I remember when I bought these locks, it was, somebody complained that it does have a history of doing that. I'm like, oh, great. So then my friend drove us up to Ace Hardware to get bolt cutters. The bolt cutters were over $50, $55. They said, go to the fire station, which was diagonally across the street. I went over there and I gave them my sob story. They said, do you have a registration for this thing? I said, oh my God, are you kidding? This is a scooter with a seat on it, a basket. It's huge. It's ugly. Nobody's going to want it, And I was like going through my phone trying to show through Amazon Prime when I got it because it says buy again, And my phone was so slow. That's another thing I was going to buy with my money that I got back, that I was going to get back, that I thought I was going to get back. And they said, you know what? If you're going to go through all this trouble for a scooter like that, we believe you. So they go down there and we'll be down there in a minute. And I said, okay. Next thing you know, a fire truck comes. It's embarrassing. They tried using the bolt cutters. The bolt cutters wouldn't do it, but luckily they brought a chainsaw thing, and it cut right through. And I was so happy. And so, anyways, we're on our way home. We're scooting on the way home. Halfway home, the battery dies, and I live on a hill. So then I had to push the goddamn thing up the hill, and then I was late for work. And then I called work and I said, this is how I'm feeling right now. And I told them what I was going through. I said, listen, if you really, really need me, I'll come in. But if you really don't, I'd rather not. And they said, and I told them my story. And I said, the firemen were involved. And they go, oh, all right, you can just stay home and just kick back. We're really slow here. Just stay home. Oh, man. And then I went to go get the taxes done today. Found out I'm not getting as much back. And the lady just kept on talking and talking and talking and talking, which is why I was so late getting back doing them.
Oh, so she was kind of a yatterbox. Yada, yada,
Oh,
yada, yada.
God. Nice lady. I trust her. She knows what she's talking about. She explained everything. But in between everything, every sentence had to do with taxes, she had to put a story in, a personal story in about herself, or about her husband dying, she lost her daughter, and her daughter died, and this and that. And oh my God, it's like I just want to go. And I knew I had to get a few things at the store, which is right there. It's conveniently right there. And then I came home and made something, put stuff away, made something to eat quickly, and then here I am. How about you? That's just one of many stories.
Well, today, like I say, what they do with the hate letters is they slip them under the door. So every time, I always have a tendency to look towards the door, and every time I see one of those, I get pissed off immediately because it's never good news.
Oh, yeah, that used to happen when I lived in housing, yeah.
I mean, they're always fucking complaining about something.
And like then, I said, go ahead.
Like I said earlier, it was basically the I mean, this apartment complex is filled with rats. And I'm not talking about the four-legged kind. I'm talking about the two-legged kind, people.
Oh, okay.
I mean, God forbid, like I told you before, I mean, somebody complained because I shook a fucking candy machine.
Oh, wow.
And so I guess they did the same thing with they didn't like people, parking where they're not supposed to. Now, sometimes people do that just because they're like picking somebody up or dropping somebody off. Or I used to do that when I went grocery shopping because I don't want to walk, down the block when I'm bringing groceries up the stairs. It'd be a long walk back and forth, back and forth. So I just park in the lot when all the spots were taken, take all my groceries up and then move. But my guess is some people are complaining about that. So now, like it said, the notice, let's see, the office has been getting a lot of complaints about tenants parking illegally in our parking lots, especially the Adams Street parking lot. This is getting out of control, so please be advised, effective immediately, anyone parking in a non-valid lot will be charged $150 and will be towed. No exceptions.
Wow.
So, if you get groceries to drop off, you better hustle it up and hope nobody rats you out.
Wow. You should get one of those carts, that you can fold up and you take to the grocery store.
Well, no, I don't go to the grocery store. I have them delivered now, so that's no longer a problem for me.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
The big thing is with Stop and Shop is they carry them up the stairs.
Yeah.
And that used to really suck because, like I said, those stairs are narrow and steep. Beth hated those stairs, and that was the one thing. We don't always agree on everything, but boy, did we ever agree on that.
So, I have another gripe story. Shall I gripe away?
Yeah, gripe away.
All right, well, I work in e-commerce, so I shop for other people. That means I go around all different parts of the store. It doesn't mean I'm fluent in what whatever is in that particular aisle, or and especially in produce. They're always moving. If you notice when you go shopping, they're
Yeah,
always
that
moving
drives me
produce
nuts.
around. Huh?
They do that with like regular items too, and it drives me fucking nuts.
Right. So, I just get I have a, it's a scanner with a, it looks like a phone. So I can text these people, message them that something is, out of stock and stuff like that, and everything. And it looks like a scanner gun.
Yeah.
And I have the shopping cart and I have all my bags on it. And with produce, like, apples and stuff like that, I have to weigh them and make sure it's the weight that they want and stuff like that. Well, there's this woman that comes in. She came in a week before, very tall, long, dark hair. She comes in with that look of attitude on her face. Like, obviously, she's going to have to throw her weight around the store because she must not have a lot of say at home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Karen.
Yeah.
That's what they
So,
call people like that, Karens.
yeah. So, she comes in and a lot of people, like, they just bark at you. There's no such thing as excuse me or can you help me, or I'm sorry to bother you, nothing like that. They just bark at you. So I'm sitting there doing my thing, and I hear her bellow to me because there was apples and they're in a bag, and there's a sign that says bag of apples, $5.99, right?
Yeah.
So she looks in my direction and goes, "Are these bags of apples really $5.99?" And I ignored her because I'm doing my own thing. She didn't address me properly, so I didn't want to acknowledge her.
I hear
And so,
that.
I'm just doing my thing. Finally, I'm finished, and then I just look up, and she's looking at me. I'm like, yeah, uh, what did you say? And she goes, "Are these bags of apples really $5.99?" And then I go and look at the sign, and then I look at her. And I said, "Well, if it says so." And then I went on my merry way. And while I'm walking away, she goes, "You're very rude." And I just decided to not acknowledge her. And I went to go get some other produce, and she went out of her way to come to me and says, "You know what? You're very rude." I said, "I am not." She goes, "Yes, you are." I said, "That's just me being me, and this is not my department, just to let you know." And then she walked off.
Well, never forget what state you're in. I mean, I call Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey the tri-asshole area. And it is. I mean, the percentage of assholes in this state is way higher than if you go to New Hampshire or Florida.
And this woman was also in a week before, and a friend of mine works there. He does produce there, and like she picked up a container of strawberries, one after another, trying to find a problem with it. You can see she's trying to look for a problem. Finally found one. She turned it upside down. She goes, "Look, there's mold on these strawberries." And I'm like, "Well, this is not my department. You have to talk to him over there." And then I heard her griping to him. And then after she left, he goes, "Oh my God." Because then she went somewhere else in produce and started picking through, like, the grapes and stuff. So she goes in there looking for problems to, throw her weight around because obviously she doesn't rule the house when she goes home.
I was going to say, you know what I recommend for people like that? A 14-inch, 3-inch girth black cock.
Jet! God.
Seriously, it's obviously they're unsatisfied. They're either not getting any or they're not getting enough.
Oh my God. So, that's just one of many gripes I have. You want to talk about anything in the news, or do you have any griping to do?
Oh, let's see. Well, other than being sick since January 15th, I'm sick of being sick.
Yeah.
And the apartment people drive me fucking nuts. Getting my arm burned, like badly, bursting a
Oh,
blister.
that was nasty. How's that doing?
Well, the smaller blister that I didn't break, that was on the bottom of my arm, like just before your hand starts, that deflated.
Oh,
The bigger blister that I burst, it's very slow to heal. I have to keep a gauze pad over it to try and keep it from getting infected.
yeah, yeah.
So
Mm.
that still hurts, which sucks. Let's see. I told you too. I burned the fuck out of my eye by touching it after eating barbecue potato chips.
Yeah.
But that was like the lesser of evils because it was a short duration.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
oh,
did that once. I was cutting banana peppers, or those peppers that come in Greek salads and stuff. I I I
oh
I
yeah,
was
those are kind of hot.
Yeah. And I was cutting them, and for some reason, like a hair went in my eye, and I just instinctively went to take it out of my eye, and boom! Oh my God.
It's like, oh,
Felt
now I
like,
know. Now I got a little taste of what it feels like to get pepper sprayed.
oh yeah. Oh my God.
Although from what I hear, pepper spray is actually worse and the effect lasts longer.
Well, I kind of know what it feels like to be pepper sprayed in the face.
Somebody sprayed you?
Well, there's two different um, s- stories. Like one time, my ex-boyfriend, I had I think you remember my cat Ace.
I remember, Ace.
Yeah. Well, he was like going near my front door. I lived in an apartment building at this time. And he was like really curious. And I was looking at him and he wouldn't go away. And all of a sudden he just ran. And then I went to the door and all of a sudden I could smell all this, pepper spray. He sprayed my door with pepper spray. But that wasn't the worst of it. Then another ex-boyfriend of mine, I had pepper spray. And for some reason, he thought, what did he pepper sprayed my face cloth in the shower. And so when I went to wash my face, it was all pepper spray.
Man, you've dated some real creepazoids in your life, that's for sure.
Well, they could say the same back to me. I'm
That,
no prize either.
you should have given him a full blast of pepper spray the next time you saw him. Say, how do you like it, you asshole?
Oh, if I can remember what I did in retaliation, because I did, I'll let you know. But I did do something. I forget what it was. Oh my God, I forget what it was. But yeah, so yeah, that really hurt.
Jesus, that sucks.
Oh, I know what. Okay, I know how it came to be about. It was so funny. So I had a pleasure toy, and he got jealous of the pleasure toy. Okay, and he thought it would be funny to pepper spray it. And then he got second thought, so he took my face cloth and used it to clean off my pleasure toy and then put it back in the shower. And then I went and washed my face with it. That's what happened.
Oh, okay. At least, I mean, it could have been worse. I mean, if you put that thing on you, it would have hurt like a motherfucker, probably. Oh,
Well,
maybe not, because pepper spray is designed to affect your eyes, so it'll hurt the rest of your body less.
well, I did use it
Uh,
before he washed it off,
oh,
and I actually enjoyed it. And I let
geez.
him know. And he got mad at that. That's when he cleaned it off with my face cloth and put it in the shower.
It takes a special kind of loser to get jealous of a dildo.
I know. And he also got jealous of another ex-girlfriend of his that had a dildo. He actually threw it out the window.
Was he like less than well endowed?
No,
Oh,
no, not at all. He was just a jealous man, I guess.
oh. Speaking of nasty things and getting sprayed, I remember one time the stupid dog came back. He used to escape occasionally. This was Duke. And time he came back and he stank. He stank. He got sprayed by a skunk.
Ah,
Dogs are stupid. I mean, they'll mess with skunks. Usually never more than once, but there's always that one time
oh
that
yeah.
they have to find out the hard way. Yeah, and we did the best we could to clean him, but he stank for like weeks. We
Oh,
could even
wow.
tell where he got sprayed because one part of his body smelled worse than the rest.
Oh, God, what part was that?
I think it was along his side.
Oh, oh.
Like maybe turn around fast enough to avoid getting in his face.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
At least he never messed with a porcupine. I mean, that involves a trip to the vet because you just can't pull those quills out that easily. They're barbed.
We don't have porcupines, do we?
I think we do, but I think it's maybe more of a wooded type creature.
Huh, wow. I didn't think we did.
I think what we don't have and what's really common in England are hedgehogs.
Ah, yeah, yeah. I'm looking
Yep.
that up now. Hold on. I'll let you know in a second.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing research.
Yeah, hedgehogs are tiny and cute. Porcupines are much bigger.
North American porcupine is common in a. Oh my God! The North American porcupine is common and abundant in Massachusetts. Porcupines are known primarily for their imitating coat of quills due to their nocturnal and solitary habits. They are infrequently seen, so their activities and habits are somewhat of a mystery to most.
Yeah, I think, like I said, they're mostly in the woods. So if you live in an urban neighborhood, you'll probably never see one.
Their
Unlike
weight ranges from 12 pounds in spring to 20 pounds in the fall. Oh my God, I never knew we had porcupines. Wow. See, we can be educational too.
yeah, I've never seen a porcupine, but I did see a groundhog once.
Ah,
And right on St. Mary Street, I saw 3 turkeys walking down the street.
oh my God, turkeys are abundant in where I live. Wow. Where I live and the town over too. They even have a gang. They used to go up and down my friend's street like terrorizing people. They had to go out and walk their dogs with sticks.
Yeah,
They had a gang.
turkeys can be pretty aggressive. They had some, I guess, I don't know whether it was in England or someplace, but they'd attack the pedestrians who'd walk around the area.
Yeah.
Now, there was turkeys at Synopsis office too in Burlington. I think they might have had them in one of the Waltham offices too,
Oh
and
wow.
they weren't aggressive, which was good. So you could like walk right by them and they wouldn't bother you.
Yeah, the
But
last place I lived, they had there was a turkey or two you'd see in the neighborhood, but they never bothered you. They just walk on by.
just
But the
walk
one,
on by.
yeah, do,
That's my
do,
dad
do,
joke.
do, do,
Yeah.
walk on by. But the one on my friend's street, I mean, they peck at the cars and everything. It was horrible. In the morning, people like look out their front door to make sure the gang wasn't, around. You can almost hear like the da na 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 bad to the bone when you saw them walking down
Yeah.
the street. Oh my goodness. Anyways, is there anything on the news you want to talk about?
Well, I did want to EFAP, and we can do that maybe next week or sometime in the future if you want. Do you know what EFAP means?
What?
It's not dirty. It sounds dirty. It's one of those things that sounds dirty, but it isn't. It means you take somebody else's like YouTube video and you show it on your live stream.
Oh, okay.
And the video I want to EFAP, if I can find it, is Tucker Carlson's interview with Putin.
Oh, yeah.
And then you and I can comment on it as it's going along. I'll pause it here and there, and we can make comments.
Has it been done? I don't think it's
not out yet, as far as I know, because I looked for it. I want to do it this time, but
yeah, it's not completed.
Yeah, but
Uh,
when it comes up, I want to EFAP that with you.
yeah.
Because then, like I say, I'll pause it here and there when certain points are made, and we can make comments. Say, well, I like
Oh,
this, I
that
don't
sounds
like that.
excellent. That's going to be really interesting. I heard part of it was, oh, he, Tucker Carlson asked him, I don't know if he asked him or he just came out with it, but he definitely doesn't think that Biden is running the country.
Oh, I don't think so either. I mean, there's a reason why people nickname is "Oh Biden."
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I can't wait till it comes out. They keep advertising on the channels I watch.
Yeah, like I said, I heard about it, but it hasn't been released yet. I guess, or he may not have even have done it. I think he was supposed to do it tonight, but
Yeah, it's very soon. It's going to be done this week. The shows I watch, updates on it all the time. I'll let you know.
yeah, because that'd be fun to analyze. How it goes.
Tucker Carlson, he's funny. He's sharp.
Well, I mean, he's getting a lot of criticism for it, but he had a great point. He said nobody's interviewed Putin. Nobody heard his point of view. So even if you don't agree with what Putin has to say, you should at least hear what he has to say.
I know. And some other journalists interviewed Assad. Why aren't they, coming down on him about, interviewing Assad? I don't
I
know
like
who
what,
the journalist was, but somebody interviewed Assad. There's been many other people that have interviewed dictators too, but they're putting him down for having an interview with Putin.
yeah, I know. Well, I mean, there's a big propaganda thing going on with that.
Hmm.
You're supposed to be totally in favor of Ukraine and not listen to anybody else's opinion.
Oh, I know, I know. I like to have my mind open to everything, not closed off to anything. I think people who close their mind off to any other opinions or anything else or any other possibilities, they just close off their mind and no, I'm going to believe what you force feed me. It's just, I think it's very sad.
Well, I like what my nephew had to say about Ukraine and Russia. He said, I don't even need to see the interview. Zelensky wants all of my money. Putin wants none of it. I'm with Putin.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, I mean, I know what we can talk about. You've heard about the border bill, right?
Yes.
$16 million for Ukraine. What the fuck does that have to do with the border?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
In fact, that's like 3 times the amount of money that's going to the border in the bill. He's only given like 20 million for the border.
No, it's not even has any. No, none of it's gone. I was watching the hearing today, the vote today.
The House Republicans shouldn't have even have brought that up for a vote. They should have said, no, we're not even going to hear that. Fuck off.
I know.
Because it's so bad.
Hey, now, I need to ask you something though, because your nephew drives a truck. What does he think? What does he have to say about all the truckers going down to Texas?
I actually haven't asked him about that.
Yeah, that's a good question to ask.
That's actually kind of risky on their part because the Canadian truckers got fucked.
Yeah, and look what happened to Trudeau. Where is he now? Because of all that, he got voted out.
Wait a minute, Castro's not in the office anymore?
No.
Well, let me look at that. Let's see.
Yeah, look it up.
Leader of Canada. Let's see what it has to say. It's Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, I mean, not canister. Somebody referred to Canada one time as America's baseball cap. Okay, I can't find anything here about him. let's see, blah blah blah. Oh, for Christ's sake! I hate when you're looking up something. You get like old,
Oh my
links.
God, things that were posted like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's like
Read
that's
it,
not
then you see
helpful.
when it was posted. It was like posted in 2019. Like, what is it still doing on the internet? Get out of here.
Yeah, or at least put the links in order by time. So the first ones that come up, the most recent ones. Okay, I'm not seeing anything about him losing an election. If you have a link to that, you can send it to me from the IM, but it's not giving me any news on that. Okay, let's go back to stream so I can mute my mic to cough.
Let me see.
Oh boy. Well, I tend to call like my long-term coughs. I call it an Energizer Bunny cough, and nobody who's not old will get that. But you remember that commercial, right? Where they for Energizer batteries, and the rabbit would come out, and they'd say it keeps going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my coughs. It keeps going and going and going and going.
I know.
It's like Jesus Christ, fuck off already. I mean, the other flu symptoms took a long time to get rid of. Oh, then I got a cold sore too.
Oh, those are beautiful. I love those.
A giant scab, bubbles, and then the scab.
Oh,
That's
I have
fun.
one too.
Yeah, those usually come out when you're sick. They kind of remind me of, like, let's say you're on the street, there's some huge dude, he beats you to the ground, and you're laying there like you're all helpless, and then his little pussy friend comes out and starts giving you the boot when you can't do anything about it. That's the way the cold sore is.
Yeah.
It only comes out when you're weakened from something else like a flu.
Well, I'm looking up Trudeau, and I haven't come up with it yet. I saw it like on some of the channels I watch, but I guess Justin Trudeau has been arrested a couple of times.
I mean, doesn't he look just like Castro?
I think he's cuter, I'd hate to say. He is a good-looking man.
But I mean, there's a rumor going around that Fidel Castro's his daddy.
Is a what?
You haven't heard that, Justin Trudeau? There's a rumor going around that Fidel Castro is his father.
Oh, really?
Because his mother, he was hanging around Cuba around the time he was conceived.
Oh, really?
Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but people have done pictures like him next to Castro, and they really look just like each other.
I gotta do that.
Yeah, just Google like Trudeau, father is Castro or something like that, and then all the rumors will come up, and you'll probably see like comparative pictures. Oh, my niece is watching our video.
Oh my God.
It says Chrissy likes your video. I can't pronounce her last name because she's married. It's JZO.
Oh, you don't want to say the name, do you?
Yeah. Sorry. You're right.
Just give a shout out with her first name. Shout out.
Yep. Shout out to Chrissy.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Chrissy. And that's probably her signing off.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, we just lost our first
Sorry.
listener. Oh goodness. So yeah, I gotta go back to my source, and next time I gotta investigate more on that, because anything you look up on the internet has been whitewashed anyways. So
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of debunking as to whether his father is Castro or not, but it's pretty interesting to look into.
yeah.
and I don't really trust fact checkers. I
Oh,
mean, these are the same assholes that insisted that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation, which it
oh,
wasn't.
I know, I know,
I
I
mean,
know.
they were actually big tech was actually deplatforming people for saying that it was real.
Oh, I know. I know. You got all these yahoos that believe everything that the media tells them. It's just so frustrating. I almost got into it with somebody at work the other day. And it's just like I just couldn't take it anymore. And I challenged him on a few things, and it was funny. I kind of left him speechless a little bit, you know? Because I had facts. I was like, yeah, well, what? Blah, 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 and I just like hit him back and right. I was like verbally backhanding him with all these facts, and he's just sitting there.
Like this, like you can, big tech assholes. They were forced to admit that the Hunter Biden laptop story was real. I think after the FBI confirmed it.
Yeah,
Um,
people still believe it's disinformation.
so we can talk about that now. But if we were having this discussion back in when the story first came out, this stream would get shut down.
Oh,
Like
wow.
we can't talk about a certain the jab.
Yeah, okay. I know.
Other than to say that it's 100% effective, and you should get it. You can say that, and that's it.
But you know what's sad is like people will still, because they'll still push the narrative that it was, Russian disinformation. They'll still say it, and there'll people out there they'll still, believe it, even though it was proven. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he basically Dementia Joe sent his son out to work as a bagman,
Yeah.
and then the son complains that he had to kick up 10%. It's like you got millions. I mean, it shows like he's an ingrate too.
Yeah.
I mean, if my father sent me out to some job where I was getting millions of dollars, and he said, "Yeah, I want 20, 10 or 20%," I'd be like, "Thanks, Dad. Here you go."
Yeah. I
It's like,
know.
I mean, Hunter Biden's the type of guy that if his father wasn't president or a high, or even before that, a high level politician, I mean, he'd be lucky to be doing some jerk job lifting boxes in a warehouse, and nobody'd be buying his art.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I consider myself kind of a hack cartoonist, and I'm still better than him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But let's get into entertainment. What do you think about the new Godzilla movie?
I haven't seen it, so I can't judge it. But there's actually a couple. There's one of them that's getting huge reviews. Like,
It's actually nominated for an award.
yeah, and amazingly, it came out for like under $50 million, which is nothing for Hollywood as far as Hollywood movies go. Now,
Well, it's Godzilla minus zero. I mean minus one.
oh, I thought,
Godzilla minus one.
yeah, that's the one. That's the one. There's another one coming out, and I think it might be made in the U.S. And that's the one that's Pink Godzilla.
Oh,
See,
okay.
so you were right about a Pink Godzilla. It was just not the right movie. If you
Ah,
mentioned that before. And I mean, he's not entirely pink, but when he like blows his breath instead of his back fins being blue, they made him pink.
right. Well, see, I love Godzilla. Once in a while, I'll even play that. What is it? Blue Oyster Cult. Oh no! There goes Tokyo, go go Godzilla!
Yep,
I
I remember
love
that song.
Godzilla, and yeah. So this one's up for an award for visual effects. It's the first time Godzilla's been nominated. A Godzilla movie's been nominated for anything. So everybody in the Godzilla world is very excited. It's people are raving about it. I guess people are crying in the theaters over it. I guess it's well written and everything else, and it tugs at your heartstrings. And uh, and now they're releasing it in black and white too. And people say some people like it better black and white, because sometimes, like when I was married to my husband, color photos versus black and white. Sometimes color, like you miss certain details in color. Color's like kind of distracting. Where the contrast of black and white, you notice more things. If that makes any sense.
I've done. I mean, maybe not the lovely Rex husband, but I've done a little photography, and I know what you mean. I've done a couple of black and white photos.
Yeah,
You
so
can
you know what
switch
I'm
that
talking about.
digitally.
Yeah, so some people are liking it in black and white.
Plus, if
It'll
you're
be
looking for like an old, like 50s,
a
40s,
feel.
30s, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, feel exactly. Black and
yeah,
white's
'cause I
good for
like the
that.
original too. It's so goofy. But and the only thing is I've noticed, like, I don't like is he's gotten so huge. Like I liked it when he was like, you know, um
Told you, he's been hanging out in America too much.
yeah.
Too
Uh
much Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's. It'll fatten you right up.
it's like the Empire State Building goes up like halfway through his calf, whereas before his head, like, he was just above the buildings, in New York. That's what I'm comparing it to.
Yeah,
In New York.
they made him taller and fatter.
And fatter. And then also for the hugeness of this monster, why are they making his eyes tinier and tinier? I mean, it's hard to even see them.
Well, I guess he's gonna need glasses pretty soon.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I like the old time. Remember Creature Double Feature?
I remember
That old
that.
time Godzilla. Sometimes it was funny. Like one time he did a happy dance, that safety dance, safety dance, woo, the safety dance. Woo!
Yeah, yeah,
They had a video where they did this S sign with their, hands,
yeah,
and
I
then
made
do
a
it
meme
double
out.
play.
I made a meme out of that. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, there's one movie where Godzilla actually does that. He jumps up in the air and does that a couple of times. And a few times, like, he'll act like, annoyed or something when somebody does something to him. The old Godzillas, like the 70s, Creature Double Feature. Like, he
Yep.
had more character, sometimes it was funny and stuff. And I don't know. I just like the old Godzilla.
Yeah, it's that was pretty entertaining. Uh, let's see here.
My real gripe is his eyes. They're just way too small. Way too small. Like, next time see a clip from the movie, it's just way too small. Somebody did a funny picture of him on Facebook with his fanny towards the camera, and he's really fat from the waist down, like a Kardashian, with thongs on because he's so thick from the waist down.
Yeah,
I was like, exactly. That's how I feel. They made him too thick from the waist down. I remember with the first one we did, well, the American version, Japan was actually angry at us because we made him too fat. But they also said it also goes along with the way we live. So they were calling us Americans fat. And that's why we made Godzilla fat.
sometimes I just want to kill myself because I'll make a good picture that I want to get back to,
Yeah.
but I don't name it properly, so then I can't find the fucking thing in a search. It's like
Oh.
it's like why? And if I ever do like finally drag it out, then I'll rename it. It's like no, never again. Let's see pictures. Let's see if we get it here. Start searching. So now it's not searching. Oh, that's wonderful. Pictures there. No, you're not showing up. I'm trying to find a picture I want to show you, and it's just not fucking showing up. Match a search. Oh, that's so annoying. Well,
Look for that. Let me change it up a bit. What do you think about all this UFO talk that's coming out of the government?
Somebody has had a rather cynical opinion, which I agree with, and that's basically it's distraction. I mean, if they talk enough about UFOs, you're not paying attention to what Joe's doing.
Ah.
Which I tend to believe. It's just like the timing things, you know what I mean?
I know, but personally, what do you think about it?
I don't know. I tend to be cynical. I mean, yeah, we get these little gray guys that are looking to stick a probe up your ass. It's kind of hard to buy. It's like, what are they looking for in there? The mystery of life?
Well, last reported they found over 2,000 exoplanets already, and they said by the time that aired, probably that number's pretty small with what they're finding out in space and stuff. And it's kind of hard to think that we are the only ones in this whole thing called space. Who knows how big it is, how far back it is, and that we are the only creatures on one planet. That's kind of small-minded, don't you
Oh, I
think?
do believe in extraterrestrial life. The debate's not that as to whether the debate is whether they've come to Earth or not, which is literally the asshole end of the galaxy. And so far, it's been proven pretty solidly that you can't travel faster than light. So that if somebody from like the middle of the galaxy, it would take them like hundreds and hundreds of years to get here. So even if you have intelligent life, the chance they visited Earth is not great.
Well, I mean, what do you say about in Egypt on the pictures, the carvings on the walls, and their literature, they have UFOs.
I mean, sometimes you just got to say I don't know, and that's my answer. I don't know. I know it's not an answer people like, but
And I'm not good
that's
with
what you
names
get.
and stuff. I'm sure I can look it up. But there's this guy that used to work in Area 51, and he's actually been on a craft, and he actually deciphered how those crafts fly. And he came up with it's called Element E.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean,
Yeah, there's all kinds of. He's done all kinds of interviews and stuff. His name is. Hold on. Yeah. What is his name? I'd have a. I would. Element E. Uh, are you still there, my friend?
yeah, I'm still here. I'm just waiting for you to come up with whatever you're looking up.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, and since I was waiting for you, my brain went totally blank and empty.
Oh, ho, ho. Bob Lazar.
Oh, okay.
Bob Lazar deciphered one of how the aircrafts do how they travel, and it's with element E. Now he explains it in many of his interviews. He was interviewed by Joe Rogan recently on his podcast. Which was recently. I'm sorry. Claimed that element 115 powered antimatter generators found on alien spacecraft. That's just part of the what's let me see. Okay, so Bob Lazar, perhaps no other name is provocative in ufology, as the man who introduced the world to the government's most classified military facility, known as Area 51, claiming to have once been employed a secret test site in Nevada desert. Lazar alleges he worked to reverse engineer of 9 alien spacecraft he says are hidden there. The story begins in the 80s when Lazar was contracted as a physicist at Los Alamos National Labs in New Mexico, the famous home of the Manhattan Project, where the nuclear bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki were designed. Prior to his employment to Los Alamos, Lazar claims to have studied physics at MIT and electric technology at Caltech. He recounts the process, which was heavily vetted and special interest in blah, 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 blah. In 89, he decided to blow the whistle and share his story on Las Vegas news station. His pseudonym was Dennis at the time. But then he came out and exposed himself. My sources.
Oh, came out and exposed himself. That's not good.
Well, he unmasked himself.
Yeah, because you hear the term exposed yourself. That has a slightly different connotation, if you know what I mean.
You dirty mind. Element 115, I'm sorry. Lazar claimed in 89 that element 115, a yet to be discovered element on the periodic table, powered antimatter generators found on the craft. Roughly 25 years later, this element was synthesized by a joint team of Russian and American scientists working at a nuclear research facility in Russia. They named the highly radioactive and quickly decaying element Moscovium, otherwise known as unipuntium. Lazar says the scientists reached out to consult him when they very briefly harnessed the element. The response is saying, referring to the materials. Well, anyways, I guess when he was on Joe Rogan, he really went into detail how this works, and it's inside one of the crafts. I guess it was just all smooth, like there was no edges at all, and there were these small chairs in the middle of this thing, in a circle facing this thing in the middle, which was some kind of element or something like that. And that's how they controlled the aircraft. But he was able to decipher how all the things worked. And it's just pretty interesting. I've watched some of his interviews, and wow, he's been harassed by the government and everything else coming out and stuff.
That wouldn't surprise me. The government loves to harass you for anything.
And, I've read other articles that that's where we get reverse engineering. That's how we got, what is it called? Now I can't remember what I was. Those fluorescent little sticks? Fiber optics.
Oh, fiber optics. Oh, okay.
Suppose we got that from there. Bulletproofing. We got that, from reverse engineering from these things. Anyways, that was my little story to bring to the table.
Yeah, because fiber optics and the glow sticks aren't the same thing. Fiber
Right.
optics are like communication by light.
You're
The
right.
glow sticks are the things you break and it glows for like 12 hours or something. People use those for power outages sometimes.
Yeah, I was thinking more of those, little wiry things that came out of like a vase, and you turned it on, the lights off, and those stringy things would light up with whatever light was shining on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not glow sticks, those things. I forget what you call them.
Yeah, I think glow sticks have like a lifespan, so they don't work after a certain number of years. I don't know how long they last for.
Yeah, they don't last very long.
Yeah, so I was never very impressed. I mean, I'll just buy the one that lasts forever. It's called a candle.
A Jewish one at that. That will last a long time.
Yeah, I have those tea lights. I have two. I have one that's a candle form and one that's the tea light form, but they're the same thing. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, they come in like a glass, like a small glass. They're white. Jewish
Yeah, they're
people,
white.
yeah, for holidays and memory of somebody that passed. They last up to 8 hours or something like that. So every time I hear of a hurricane, I go and get those. Remember we were getting ready for a hurricane one year when I lived down in the projects?
Oh, I can't remember that. Yeah, that was a long time ago, and my memory
Yeah,
does not go back very far, but it does remember that.
yeah. We lived through a couple of hurricanes, and so I always have those on hand. But luckily, where I live right now, there's no trees around me that can fall on the house. Our electricity wires are underground, and I live on a hill, so I don't have to worry about flooding or a tree falling on me or losing electricity unless a transformer goes out.
Yeah, I think one of the first things Jay Wilson did when he bought his property is he cut down all the trees within falling distance of his house.
Oh, yeah, it's the wisest thing to do.
Well, he learned his lesson from his father because his father built his house in Needham, and
Yeah.
he built it very sturdy, and nothing ever happened to it until a tree literally fell down and mashed the roof,
Oh,
part of the roof. And so the town, I don't know whether they wanted more money or whatever, but they said, well, that wasn't built to whatever the stupid code is, even though it
oh,
was built like really, really sturdy and well with like thick lumber. So you're going to have to tear off your entire roof and rebuild that from the get go. And the insurance company wouldn't pay for that.
ah,
They'd pay for like the cost of roof repair, but not for an entirely new roof.
ah. Yeah, insurance is tricky. I was just talking to a friend of mine. We were talking about the same thing because the last storm we had, a nor'easter, before our first real snow, a tree fell on my neighbor's house behind my house. I have a street in front of my house and behind my house, and so the one behind my house across the street, I guess the tree fell and like damaged part of his roof. Then around a corner, um, a transformer caught on fire. Then I went out. My lid flew off of my trash can, so I went out there to try to get it because I didn't want the trash can filling up with water. And as soon as I was just about to go down and pick it up, and all of a sudden it just went straight up in the air and over to my neighbor's yard. It was almost like an invisible hand said, no, you don't. But I never lost power, and, we don't have to worry about flooding because we're on a hill. So,
I remember I used to hate when my mother would go on vacation because every fucking time some disaster would happen. And one
oh,
time a tree just like fell right through the window.
oh God.
It was just like, ah. And then if I was lucky and nothing like bad happened, whenever she got back, because when she went on vacation, it was like a total fantasy. I mean, she didn't go on cheap vacations. She went like, expensive motels and
Oh,
stayed
like
there
a
for like,
diva?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And like one time she was hanging around with like famous, like semi-famous actresses and actors. Like the guy. You remember the movie Jason and the Argonauts
Slightly, yeah.
with the skeletons?
Yeah.
Well, my mother was in Bermuda hanging out with that guy in one of her vacations.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, she lived like basically a rich person's life. And then she'd have to come back, to reality, which is like schlepping, a shitty nursing job and, paying, bills and having to watch money. And boy, did she get ugly.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh my God.
oh,
She'd
yeah.
be like nasty for a minimum of 2 weeks. It's just fucking torture.
Oh,
It's like, I'm sorry you're not actually rich and your fantasy is over, but that's not my fault.
yeah. Yeah, what I was going to say, um, so my friend was saying like there's a tree and it kind of like there's a slight hill behind her house in her neighbor's yard and the tree kind of like is leaning towards her house and she's always afraid it's going to fall and I'm like, "Oh God, insurance is really funny because I used to work for one." And basically if anything hangs over your property and causes damage, it's on you. It's under the clause of in the act of God. Even though the roots are in the neighbor's yard, whatever's hanging over your property, you're responsible for.
I think I'm not sure, but if you want to really get your neighbor to hate you, you can force them to cut off the branches that are hanging over your yard.
I'm not sure about that one.
I'm not 100% sure of that. Maybe it only applies if there's like power lines or something.
I don't know. I mean, I mostly dealt with claims with cars, but there was some, well, a neighbor's part of their tree would fall in a car, and I'd have to say, well, that's under the clause of the act of God, so it's your problem.
Yeah, insurance sucks. I mean, any way they can figure out not to pay it and to make a payment, not to make a payment, they'll do so.
Mm.
I remember somebody. I used to have a really horrible job delivering auto parts to like body shops, and one of the guys was. Most of those guys were assholes, but a few of them were nice. And one of them was talking about. He was talking about insurance and how one of the things they do is they force the auto body guys to get like third party like body parts which never fit right, so it actually costs more because they have to get the part, tell the insurance company no that didn't fit right, then they get the OEM part from the manufacturer. And
Oh, wow.
he was saying how the insurance companies are always crying poverty, but he had a great point. He goes, you go to any city and the biggest building there is almost always the insurance companies.
I never thought of that.
And he was saying, he'd go in because he had, part of his job, he had to go in and talk to those people. And he's saying their offices were like luxurious too.
Yeah.
I mean, they cry poverty, but they're not poor. No one runs a business to be poor.
Well, the insurance company I worked with was pretty elite, and it used to pride itself by not advertising because it's word of mouth, and we had a lot of celebrity customers and stuff.
Oh, is that
But
Amika?
yeah, and it wasn't the biggest building or the most luxurious building that I ever worked in.
Maybe not them, but oh, what's that all glass business building in Boston that's fucking pretty huge?
The Hancock?
Yeah, that's insurance.
Oh, really?
Well, it was. Hancock used to do insurance, I'm pretty sure. Now, things change all the time, and that may no longer be the case, but yeah, I think that was an insurance building.
Oh. Oh,
So those
well,
boys weren't poor.
no. Wow.
So,
Oh, I have to, what am I doing?
Oh, if you have to take a bathroom break, that's cool.
Oh, I would take it in with me. I'm not shy.
Oh, okay. I mean, I have a laptop, but it's attached to a huge screen, so it's really not mobile. So, with
I have to
me,
give my
it's
kitty some medicine later when I get off, and then I have to take my medicine, some of my medicine right now. So yeah, you can't move.
yeah, no, no, can't move.
Uh,
Well, I mean, I get my mouse, a separate keyboard, so it's really, I mean, it might be a laptop, but it's really set up like a desktop computer
yeah, yeah.
because my vision's not that good, so the laptop screen I can hardly friggin' see anything on it.
Oh,
So I have this giant 32-inch monitor. Plus, I do graphic stuff, and I need a big monitor for that.
yeah, yeah.
It's great though for if you're watching movies or something. It's like you have this almost like little mini movie theater screen.
Oh, I can't. I need a huge screen. I was hoping I was going to be able to get a new computer with my tax returns, but I guess not. I'll be lucky enough to just buy a new cell phone and some sneakers for myself.
I was just gonna say, well, you don't really need it because this does work with what you have, but you could always get like a cheap pair of headphones. I have a bunch of links to ones that are like anywhere from $19 to $35.
Yeah, but I'm not actually wearing any headphones right now.
That's amazing that works. Well,
I'm
I
lucky.
yeah, because sometimes when you're talking, it'll go in and come out. You'll get an echo from that sometimes.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty lucky with this one. It's a crappy, cheap old Chromebook too, but it seems to be working out pretty well.
Yeah, because they do have software to try and prevent echoing, and I guess in your case it works.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of news, have you heard Gina Carano suing Disney?
Who's that?
You haven't heard of Gina Carano?
I'm bad with names. I know
Oh,
faces.
well, there was a series that Disney ran called The Mandalorian. It was in the Star Wars universe, and she was the one who played a very popular character on that show. But then she got into trouble because somebody asked her what her pronouns were, and she gave a wise ass comment, which was bip boop beep. And as soon as they found out she was a conservative, she was on her way out.
People are just too damn sensitive these days. People
And
gotta. Oh, go
and
ahead.
she's and so Elon Musk said he put out a general offer. He said if you feel you've been discriminated against because of like your political views or anything, I'll provide you a lawyer. And I think most people saying, yeah, give me a lawyer probably get annoyed, but she's rather well known. So she posted and he gave her a lawyer.
Oh wow.
And so somebody had a good point. They're saying she'll probably lose on being fired because they can. I don't even think she was fired. She just wasn't renewed. And they can do that to anybody. But where they fucked up is they kind of slanted her.
Ah.
That's stupid. A lot of if that happened to one of the comic YouTubers I listened to. There was a convention he got banned from, and they said he was like a racist or white supremacist. And he sued their ass for that, and they had to give him a shit ton of money and apologize publicly too.
I just hate this day and age where everybody's so easily offended. I am so sick and tired of it. I really, really am.
Well, I mean, it's one thing just to say I don't like this or I'm offended, but you have all these cancel culture assholes where they not only want you to lose your job, they want to make it so you can never get hired again.
I know they want to destroy you just because they don't agree with you. They want to destroy you and your life. It's out of control. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, like
Oh,
with this other comic guy, he's a veteran too. He's actually a kind of a weird military career. He was in the Marines for a long time, and then maybe he got old. The Marines didn't want him, but then he reenlisted in the Army, and he's been to like the Gulf War and shit like that.
Mm.
And they canceled him. And basically, the way he put it is they're trying to get him to kill himself.
Yeah. 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 They definitely want that. I mean, one of the January Sixers, who all he did was walk in the building for a second and then walked out, um, got arrested. Then he was able to get out on home arrest, and then he was going to plead guilty to so many charges, but then they decided to add this one charge and this other charge, which carried this many years and that many years, and it went on and on and on, and he couldn't take it anymore, and he killed himself.
You know, the worst, and this is a new term that I just heard this year. I don't think it's been around too long. It's called lawfare.
Ah.
And that's when the government, either the government or somebody with a lot of money, tries to ruin you through charges. It's usually the government because, like, they're using that on Trump.
Right.
So instead of warfare, you put law in front of it. You're basically trying to make war on somebody legally.
Yeah, yeah. It's scary. It's horrible. It's horrible. People can't have different opinions anymore without, you have to sacrifice your way of, you just sacrifice everything, they just want to ruin everything. You're not allowed to have a different opinion anymore,
Well, cancel culture is starting to die out. At least it was very prevalent in comics. And you had this group of people, and if they thought you were conservative, these guys, no shit, would spend like hours and hours and days looking over every single tweet or post you ever made anywhere on social media to find something that was like a little racist or off key to beat you with.
Mm.
I mean, they go back years, but it looks like that's finally there's some pushback on that.
I hope so.
Because, like I said, one of the comic guys I listened to was laughing because a lot of these people are very big in cancel culture. They're trying to rebrand themselves now. It's not as popular as it was.
Yeah.
So there's like one woman who's like a vicious bitch, and now she's trying to rebrand herself as like the dotty aunt. The kooky aunt. That's her new YouTube image. Oh no, I didn't try to like ruin people's lives for years. I'm just your friendly kooky aunt.
Oh God.
And there's a few of them like that are just trying to ditch that image because it's not as positive as it used to be. It's getting scorned by a lot of people now.
Yeah, it's tiring. These people really tire me,
Well, some guy came up with and it went viral too. One of this famous guy in comics, Mark Miller, came up with a term for them. He called it cancel pigs. And that went viral.
Cancel pigs?
Yeah, cancel culture. The people who try and get other people canceled. So he started calling them cancel pigs.
No, I just wanted to hear. You said pigs, not picks.
No, I said pigs.
Oh, okay.
Oink, 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 oink.
Oh, okay.
Just to make it clear.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was pigs or pigs. I'm offended.
Yeah, pigs wouldn't make much sense.
No.
Pigs definitely works because that's basically what they are.
I mean, during the holidays, if someone said to me, Happy Kwanzaa, I'd be like, hey, yeah, okay, Happy Kwanzaa back to you. Like, people are just so easily to get offended these days. And plus, I also think they're using it to gain monetary gains too,
Well, yeah, especially, I mean, some of it's monetary, but a lot of it has a lot more to do with power.
Yeah.
Because you can ruin some guy's life and make him unemployable. I mean, that's a big power trip, especially some of these people are just losers living in their mother's basement.
I know.
So to be able to take some successful person and trash their entire life, that's a big trip for those people.
Yeah, I know. People actually get off on doing that. I can't understand it. I personally would not feel good if I had a part in ruining somebody's life. You know,
I mean,
not
there are
make a
exceptions.
living and stuff like that. That'd be horrible. Unless you're, a pedophile, then I'd be happy to.
Well, oh,
But
you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say that, unless you're a pervert, and
yeah,
that's different. But I mean,
yeah.
it's just somebody has like different political opinions, and then you go back 10 years and they made an off-color joke. It's like, come on.
I know you're reaching. You're working awfully hard to destroy somebody's life. It's horrible. Like people should just go on about their business, mind their own business, and let people be. If I want to worship my cat's scratch tree, let me worship my cat's scratch tree. If I want to marry my cat's scratch tree, let me marry my cat's scratch tree. If you wanna marry a car, Jet, go by all means, go marry a car.
Well, the cat worships the scratch tree.
Well, that's why I would want to worship it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, let people be, man. Just let them be.
Well, I mean, to a point. I mean, like if you say, okay, you can have your gay marriage, you can have that, and then these people who've been fighting for that turn around and say, okay, we get that. Now we're going to try and put porno books in elementary school libraries. It's like, fuck you.
Oh no, there are limits.
Well, so I mean, sometimes like me personally, I don't care if gay people get married, but if they're going to use that as a stepping stone to like ratchet it up to perversity and pedophilia, then fuck you. You never should have got that in the first place.
Yeah. Well, some people just like to, take and take, push it, push it, push it, push it. Never satisfied.
Yeah, definitely.
But this perversion, let's not even get started with that because we don't have enough time. But the perversion of what they're trying to normalize sexuality with children has just gone way above and beyond. That's just oh God.
Well, one thing a certain political party that begins with D is very, very good at is reframing things in their favor. Word wrangling. They're very good at it. And so somebody says, hey, I don't want my, 6-year-old kid reading, exclusive, deep, books with pictures on how to perform oral sex. They're too young for that. That shouldn't be in the school library. And so the liberals will come back and say, oh, so you're in favor of book burning.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, I know.
Or let's say you say, well, I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. I think people should be allowed to, bear arms and defend themselves. I mean, the left will rebrand that as, oh, so you want to go into schools and kill people.
Right, I know. I know.
So I mean, they're unfortunately really good at word wrangling. Twisting what you say. I mean, they're not dumb. I mean, a big mistake is people saying they're stupid. I mean, if you go by that, you're gonna get burned.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, I wish they were dumb because it's easy to beat stupid people. But when people are very clever and crafty, that's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
Like Beth thinks they're dumb, but they're not.
No, they're not.
I mean, if anything, I think some people on the conservative side have been dumb because they haven't caught on it fast enough.
No, not at all.
Like, I mean, people talk a lot about woke now, and they act like that's a new thing. Like, usually they say, oh, woke started in like 2015, 2017. That had a daddy, and woke's daddy was political correctness, and that started in the 80s.
Right, yeah.
So that actually goes back way further than the average person thinks.
Yeah, that's a point. Yeah.
I mean, basically, what woke is political correctness on steroids.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just saw something that reminded me. So there's a show that I watch every Friday night, and I always think of you when I watch this show.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know if you know this, but it's what is it called? Spit Campfire. Spit Campfire.
Never heard
And
of it.
right. Uh and it's a podcast with Ted Nugent.
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah, and he does it from his man cave. I think it's in his garage because sometimes he pans the camera around, and you should see all like his bow and arrow weapons and this and that, and he's guns, and then he has his guitars, and he's talking about all the Constitution and rights, and he's a very very smart man. And do you know that he has never done drugs or drank in his life?
Yeah, I remember hearing about that years and years ago, and I was surprised because most of the rock stars actually do a lot of dope.
And he's been very spiritual, and he treats his body like a temple, a gift from God. And he's very spiritual. He talks about God and everything else, but he really, like, he's funny. He just goes on and drags on and on and on and on, and he is hilarious. And he sits there and he laughs at himself and stuff like that. It's funny. It's on at 8 o'clock Friday nights, and it's on Real American Voice channel. You should check it out. It's funny as hell. And he's always talking about, gun owner rights and this and that and whatever happened in politics that week, And the way he talks, he's a very, very, very smart man.
Well, I was thinking there's this show that's like hugely popular now. You may not have heard of it. It's called Reacher. And somebody was pointing out that if this show came out in like the 80s or the early 90s, it wouldn't have gotten noticed. But it's not woke, and that's what part of what makes it really popular. Is it's basically this guy that goes around from town to town beating up assholes.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
I liked it. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
If you like action, it gives you a lot of that.
That's funny.
He's ruthless. He's ruthless too. Some of them he shoots.
That's funny.
But I
Oh,
mean,
God.
they're all bad people. I mean, really bad people.
Yeah, yeah.
So even though he's like super violent, he's actually the good guy.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and they
That's
hired
funny.
an actor who's like a big dude too. He doesn't look like a pussy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he looks like somebody who could beat people up.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, there's no like gay shit or 10,000 genders. It's just him going around beating up bad guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just saw something come over the ticker on the news I'm watching. What happened to that helicopter that went down in California? And where are those people?
I have a total blank because I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah. Yesterday, a helicopter went down somewhere in, I guess they were training somewhere, I think, somewhere in California. The helicopter crashed. They went to go look for them, and they're not there.
Well, California has like a lot of woods. So if they crash in like a big enough forest, believe it or not, even though helicopters are huge, it might be hard to find them.
They found the helicopter.
Oh,
They
that's
don't know
weird.
where these people are. Why would they leave? Where did they go? What happened to them?
Now that's weird. Okay, I didn't know about that part.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
California's a weird and fucked up place.
Oh, tell me about it. It's so funny how the awards shows, all of them, their ratings are going down year after year after year. Pretty soon they won't even have them.
Well,
I
that's one
think
thing
it's
I was trying
riot.
to. Well, one thing it's hard to figure out is like woke stuff doesn't sell. It doesn't matter whether it's comics, movies, TV shows. Um,
Fear.
it usually bombs beer. And the only thing I could figure out is they have this thing that I don't understand very well called ESG funds. And what it is, it's like investment money you can get if you're woke.
Oh, wow. Oh,
And
that's
so,
so wrong.
and so the only thing I can think of is maybe some of these people make something that they know is going to flop because they'll at least break even from the ESG money. But
Oh,
but that's not a sustainable model. I mean, nobody's going to pay people for failures forever.
right.
I mean, eventually the chickens are going to come home to roost, and stockholders are going to start saying, what the fuck are you doing? You're making all these movies, nobody, or comics or whatever, no one wants to see or read. Like, I mean, I think I told you about this. This gay guy, they came up with Gay Green Lantern.
Oh,
And he was like the classic Green Lantern, too, like the original guy from the 30s, because I guess that comic goes way back. Only now, the new version, he's gay. And nobody wants to fucking read that. They had the guy who came up with it like begging people to buy his book, and that didn't work.
oh, God.
But it's like, do you really need this? I mean, nobody wants, their favorite characters, whether it's TV or movies, retrofitted into being gay.
I have nothing against gays. I know some gays. I have some relatives that are gays. Okay? But, I wish Hollywood would stop sprinkling pixie dust on everything. You know, Leave the shit alone. Come up with original ideas. Come up with something different. And I'm sick of it being shoved in my face.
Well,
You
here's the
know?
well, here's the thing. Like again, I like to use comics because they're kind of a microcosm of woke. Like what's happening there is happening other places. And so, an interesting thing is U.S. comic sales are plummeting like a bomb. Like, at the same
Oh,
time, Mango, which is kind of anime comic books, style comic books from Japan,
yeah.
sales of those translated are going up and up and up and up. And the reason being is anime basically, what the U.S. comics have been doing, like I say, they've been turning main characters gay, or they'll switch the gender, like they'll retire Thor and come with a new female who's replaced him. And people don't like that. Now, what anime does is basically it has everything. So if you like gay characters, anime has that. But you like regular heroes, anime has that. But what it doesn't do is switch the switch characters. So some
Oh, yeah,
characters you
yeah.
like is straight, he's gonna stay that way.
Yeah.
The gay comics that anime has, the characters started out that way.
Right.
So I mean that's the way that should be handled. They shouldn't be changing, the personalities or preferences, whatever characters. Just introduce new characters.
I know. Come up with something original.
Well, I think what they're trying to do is they don't like the comic fans or the older over 30s, TV watchers or whatever. So what they figure they can do is if they introduce like a new gay comic or TV show or whatever, chances are most people aren't going to want to watch that. But they figure they'll force people to watch it by changing a character that they really like into gay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really work. All it does
No.
is like wreck it for people who like that character.
Oh, I know. They alienate them.
But I mean, and plus it's the focus is all wrong. Like if you want to make like say a gay comic book character, I mean the focus shouldn't be him going up and down to bars looking to pick up strange. The focus should be on him like punching bad guys.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just maybe a mention to, yeah, I'm gay, and my boyfriend Steve, whatever, and that's it. And I mean, the adventure should be facing an adventure comic, not a romance comic.
Right. Well, they're finding out, aren't they?
Yeah, but they don't learn.
I know. That's
I mean, it fails and fails and fails. And like I said, the only thing I could figure is they get an ESG money or something.
Yeah.
And the comic book companies, I forget whether it was Marvel or DC, but one of them is owned by Disney. I mean, they tend to be owned by parent companies that are so friggin' huge that they can lose money. They can lose like millions and millions and millions of dollars. I mean, literally light up hundreds and burn them. And it doesn't, they're so rich, it doesn't even affect them. It takes a long, long time before they'll affect their balance sheet.
Mm.
And yeah, I hear the annoyed tone in your voice, and it is annoying.
Oh gosh, it's tiring. It's just, it takes so much energy. They suck so much energy out of my brain because I'm just, oh, I wish I was dumb. I'm not saying I'm brilliant, but I'm just saying, it's just, it drains me. It just drains me how these people think and act and everything. It's just, draining.
Oh, I came up with a term for it. I call it, it's wearying.
Yes, yes, that's good. I like that.
It's wearying. It's just over and over and over again. It's like, oh, you're doing this again.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I have to jump in the shower and get ready for bed. How long have we been on for? Do you know?
give me a second. Let's see. StreamYard. Here we go. It actually tells you. And let's see. Blah, blah, blah. At least it thought it told me. It's over an hour. I mean, it did tell me it was over an hour, but now I can't find the stupid window where it tells you how long you've been on.
Okay.
But yeah, we've been on long enough.
Yeah.
So, you do what you got to do, and maybe I'll IM you a little bit when we get back. When you get back, or if you want to go to bed, you can do that too. Whatever.
Yeah, I'll see you on IM.
All right.
All right. Well, until next time, Jet.
All right. Now I'll try and find that
Gripe and
Godzilla.
real.
I'll try and find that Godzilla meme I made, which fucking disappeared. Now I can't find it anywhere.
And that Putin thing.
Oh yeah. Well, definitely. As soon as that comes out, we got to EFAP that.
Okay.
All
right.
right.
Till next time, friend. Over and out.
Over and out.
All right. Bye.
Bye.